In one of the textbooks, it talks about media, all different art media, stuff you use to make art. And it talks about how watercolor is the most creative painting media. Well, that's just a load. That's not true. That's a ridiculous thing. It's like saying blondes have more fun. It doesn't mean anything. It's one person's opinion. And my issue is when they write it in a textbook, students take it as the gospel truth. Well, it's not. I couldn't tell you what's the most expressive media. It's not quantifiable like that. You use the medium that you use as an artist that best suits you for whatever your goal is. So when the book says something stupid like that, think to yourself, editorializing, not interested. And then a second example is in the art history book. The writers talk about the Mona Lisa as being an action-packed painting. Well, that's a new concept, a relatively new concept. If you look at the Mona Lisa, it's a very static portrait, single woman facing the viewer, very still. Her position is still, the background is still. It's as still a portrait as I could imagine there being. And to say that it's all about action and movement, I think, what, did somebody write that in their PhD, trying to come up with some new way of looking at something that's been talked about for 1,000,000 years by 1,000,000 people, so they're making it up? So when you read something like that and you look at the work and it doesn't strike you as true, don't believe it. You have as much analytical capacity as anybody else, especially once you have these terms and phrases under your belt. So, okay, rant over. With your writing, make sure you use spell check. Please use spell check, and then also proofread again, because if you don't, sometimes if you use a word like there incorrectly, spell check won't pick it up, but you'll pick it up. So spell check, grammar check, and then you read it too. And read it out loud as well for logic. When I write a paper, I usually do for myself, I don't turn this in, obviously, but a simple outline to make sure I'm covering all the points I need to cover. Because when I'm grading the paper, I'll look at the assignment, I'll look at what you've written, and if you're not on topic, that will affect your grade. You've got to be on topic. So the correct length, most of the papers are 750 words. That's the first thing I check when I open up your doc, is to see if you've met that requirement. If you haven't, if it's 729 words, your grade is lowered to full grade. So I know there's a lot to write about every subject I give you. If you want to write more than 750 words, go ahead, go to town. I love reading your work, but never less, okay? If you can't make that very modest requirement, you're not trying hard enough. And this is college. You're here to do well and try hard and excel, and that's what I expect. We have the Blackboard site, which everything comes through Blackboard. We have a discussion board. Throughout the semester, I'll put on different topics. I'm looking for the Blackboard discussion to be more personal and pleasant than highly academic. I expect you to interact with it, to respond to the questions, but I'm not, this shouldn't be a heartache or difficult. This should be, an easy thing to do. What else? Just going over my, did I talk about writing tutors? I think I did. If I didn't, writing tutors in the Writing Center, online or in person. And also, if you're having any kind of trouble, semester's long, things happen, life is complicated, David Lehrman is a great resource on campus. You can email him at dlehrman and or call him, and all that information is online in our course documents. He's a good guy, and he'll help you if you have time management issues or whatever. Financial aid stuff, he can direct you to the right people. He's a good guy. All right, I'm just going to go over the orientation real quick and make sure I've got everything. I don't want to go on too long, put you to sleep here. So the main components in the class are the readings, writing, Blackboard discussion, and at the end a museum visit. You don't have to wait till the very end to go to the museum, but wait till about midterm, because I want you to know about elements and principles of design and media and technique a little bit, so that when you go to the museum you have a chance to really have some background, so you look at the work in an informed way. I absolutely recommend Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. They're open on weekends. Check the website, make sure it's not a holiday or whatever. It's downtown Richmond. It's a beautiful museum. They have an amazing group of collections, and it will blow your mind. They have snack shop, one that's kind of reasonable, one that's very expensive. They have a gift shop. And if you have kids, absolutely bring your children. It's never too soon to start bringing your kids to cultural events and cultural institutions. And a museum, you know, people get nervous about museums, and a lot of people have never been to a museum until they take this class. And it always kind of saddens me, because a museum archives our experience as human beings, from cave painting to modern art. It's a document of our lives, of our culture, of the kind of people we are, the interests that we have. And for normal, ordinary people to not have access to that it's just wrong. It's a failing of our education and the institutions. So I hope you feel your feelings about going to a museum. If you're nervous, be nervous, but you go anyway. If you find yourself in Washington, D.C., the National Museum, which is our country's art collection, and that's a crazy big deal. We have an astonishing art collection, and it's free, open to the public, because it's ours. You know, it's the people of America's, and it's a beautiful collection. The president, when the president becomes president, he or she is allowed to take art from the permanent collection from the National Gallery and place in the White House during their term. And when I heard about that, I was so excited about it, and I thought, oh my God, imagine what that must be like, going to the National Gallery and saying, I'll take that one and that one and that one, and have it hanging in your house. That's worth all the hassle to become the president right there. But you know, I probably wouldn't last long. So the museum visit is a big deal, and I expect you to go, and the student reactions, 99% of the time, they really love it and it blows their mind, and I'm sure that'll happen for you too. I'll do announcements regularly. If anything interesting happens or a student emails me about something, I'll put it up on the announcements. You'll get emailed and notified. What else? I think that's it. Oh, let me just talk about late turned in work. You have all your assignments are due on a Friday by midnight. You don't have to wait until Friday at midnight to turn it in. You can turn it in at any time, as long as it's before that deadline. If something terrible happens and you have to turn the work in late, you will get a late grade. It's an entire grade lowered. So try to be on time with the work. And I only give you a 1-week window. And the reason is I teach a lot of classes online, a lot of papers coming in, and it's a real challenge just to keep the bookkeeping straight. And if I have work that's coming in weeks and weeks later, it becomes very problematic, and then I find, so it's problematic for me, and then I find with the student, it starts them off on a path of failure. The first week's late, the second week's late, and so the entire semester, everything they turn in is one whole grade lower, just because of that first misstep. So I only give you a week to be late. So if it's due on Friday the 1st at midnight, and you can't turn it in for whatever reason, you have until Friday the 8th at midnight to get that paper in. So please try and keep up. If you don't turn anything in, it'll be a 0. So please work on that. It upsets me to give you anything other than good grades. All right, I think that's all I've got. If you have any questions for me, email me. I'm an email monkey. I'll answer you right away. And you can also call me on my office phone. I'll tell you right now, I'm faster with the email, so if you want an immediate answer, that would be your first line. I hope you have a great semester. I'm sure you're going to learn all kinds of stuff. There's so much to learn and there's so much to see, and I'm really grateful to be able to share some of that with you. I look forward to it, and I look forward to getting to know you. It's kind of weird online because we never see each other face to face, but we'll get to know each other through email, and I look forward to that. All right, take care and have a good semester.